Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Live. I'm Kathy Mae Martin, and I'm excited to be your host today. Today's conversation is for every homeowner, investor, and agent. The short-term rental market is changing, and not just a little. New laws are coming in effect, and stay tuned. You want to be careful and not find yourself on the wrong side of an expensive mistake. That's why tonight's guest is an expert in the short-term rental space, so stay tuned. We're going to learn a lot. You can check out the screen, you can comment to us live on Facebook, or call us at the number listed on the screen, and we're going to answer your questions live on the air. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before we get into today's segment, I want to introduce my special guest, Caden Gurney. Caden, thank you for being here. Caden's bringing a fresh perspective to the real estate industry. He's new to our office, but don't let that fool you. He's got great work ethic. He's committed. He's coachable, and he's already laying the groundwork for a successful tenure in the real estate world. And we're so glad you're on the Coldwell Banker team. I know you've been working hard, and you've got some listings, and you're going to talk about a couple of those listings this evening. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to, be learning from the best and just take it all in. I've been here for a month, and I've learned so much already, and I've learned that I have a lot more to learn too. Just getting out and talking to clients and meeting new people, and a change of scenery every day. It's really cool to take it all in and see something new and cool every day. So I have two listings now. One I just posted today. It's a townhouse in the preserve, and then the one that we'll be featuring is 12 unrestricted acres, about 10 minutes out of downtown Kingston. Great views, great location. Here we have the view from the top. That'd be a great building location for your forever home. We got a few barns on the property where you can keep your animals and whatever your heart might desire. So plenty of opportunities here for endless amount of
Endless possibilities. Yeah.
So there's a large barn on the property, and here we have our drone flyover. So this is coming from the entrance of the property. It's right off 58, which it's about 40 minutes from downtown or Turkey Creek, and then you have Watts Bar Lake, boat ramp about 10 minutes away.
That's beautiful, Caden. Lots of building spots out there, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said it's unrestricted.
Unrestricted.
Yeah, that's pretty special. I like that. You want to tell us a little bit about the new one you got today?
Yes, it's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath townhouse in the preserve, which the preserve is growing rapidly. It's a great community. They have their own community golf course, pool, indoor, outdoor, fitness center, boat dock, boat ramp, fishing dock, tennis courts, pickleball courts, which are very popular. Get out there and play some myself. And so, there's plenty to offer. The house, lawn care is provided. It's 2-story and has a 2-car garage. So, whether you're an investor, first-time home buyer, maybe retiring and looking for a good community to get into, perfect for anybody.
Yeah.
So reach out to me and we'll get you set up.
Yeah, it's got something for everybody, and I love that little par 3 golf course out there. That's so much fun. Something for everyone. The lake, That's a great listing. If you're thinking of buying or selling, or you want to get more information on either of these listings, call Caden Gurney. His number and email address is there on the screen, and I promise you he'll do a great job for you. Welcome back. This is really a part 2 segment. We had Christina Branham, our guest tonight. She was here a few months ago, and we kind of introduced the short-term rental market to the audience, but there's been a lot of changes to that short-term rental market, and we thought we needed to present that to the audience tonight to let them know exactly some of those changes and how to maneuver those and what to expect. So thank you for being here, Christina.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yes, very exciting.
Yeah. So just to recap, in case we've got some new visitors in the audience tonight, what is a brief description of a short-term rental?
Super easy description of a short-term rental is anything rented less than 30 days. So anytime there's a property that you're renting for a week, 2 weeks, or any less than 30 consecutive days, it becomes a short-term rental.
Yeah, and there's certain laws that go along with that. Has
Yes.
to be a 2-night minimum. Those type
Yes,
things.
certain things that go with it, but the main thing is that it's the consecutive amount of days that you don't go over that 30 days. You don't do any more than 3 months. Everything is under 30 days, so it's short stays.
At 30 days, that becomes a long-term rental.
Right, correct. It goes to a long-term rental at that point, and then taxes change. The amounts change. Everything changes when it goes from a short-term to a long-term.
Right, yeah. Well, what has changed in the last couple of months that investors and folks that have current short-term rentals, what's changed that they need to know right now?
Well, big thing that's changed is our tourism industry. Running the research, looking through the numbers, we have 147 million visitors that come to Tennessee. I mean, that's a huge amount. $31.7 billion in spending from visitors in Tennessee. And then visitors spend $87 million per day on tourism in Tennessee. So we are Roane County just becomes that melting pot of those tourism dollars. We are in a great location. We are within an hour of Gatlinburg. We're within an hour or 2 hours from Nashville. So people are coming to this area, staying for a couple days, and are staying for a week and traveling to Chattanooga. There's Gatlinburg, Nashville. They're able to see all these different locations. So our area is really growing with those short-term because we're a desired place. Visitors want to come to Tennessee. They want to see these mountains and the lakes.
And the lakes.
And the lakes,
Absolutely.
yes,
And
yeah.
logistically, we're right off of I-40 and 75, which is easy to commute.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of those within an hour, a couple of hours that they can get to visit all those places from right here, Roane County and some of the surrounding counties.
It is great. I mean, we have guests all the time that are here for a week and go and spend a day in Gatlinburg and a day in Nashville and a day in Chattanooga. There's so many things that they can do while they're here, and they can enjoy the lakes here and our events that go on. So there's so much going on, and Tennessee is just a desired place to be. Yeah.
And if you're thinking a short-term rental, you don't necessarily need to have a house on the lake.
No.
Lake is very desirable, but they'll come and just stay right downtown and visit for a couple of days.
We have a great one downtown Kingston that is very active, stays very busy, does lots of events at it, I mean, they've had weddings there. It's a great opportunity. I mean, we have it everywhere. We have it in, we've got one on 10 acres out in the middle of nowhere, a cabin by itself, so you can have some seclusion. So we have lots of options. Yeah.
Now, so with some of the changes, is there certain cities or counties that will ban a short-term rental?
So they're not saying that they'll ban the rentals. Tennessee is really for tourism. They really protect the owners in this
That's so
area. It is. They really protect the now, we're governed by the state of Tennessee, but we're also regulated by our county, and each county is a little bit different, and each one is learning a little different and changing a little different. Gatlinburg has been a short-term vacation rental market for years, and we're learning from them that they're doing things differently than even we do. So, it's a learning market.
It is, yeah. And like you said, the counties are learning, because this is something that really spawned in our area. It's been around for a while, but it really took off during the COVID market.
Yes.
And so what permits are required before someone can legally list a short-term?
So this is new, and this is something that people need to know in this area. Roane County is changing. Prior to this year, there was not a permitting process. There was not any regulations going on. But coming with the opportunity and the revenue dollars that are coming into this county, there are some regulations. We want to protect our guests. We want to protect our owners. We want to make sure that you have the right tools in there. You have your first aid kits, your in entrances and exits. So this is what those permitting processes is going to cover. To make sure that you are safe for your guests, as well as keeping your owners safe as well. And the permitting process is going to be, it's going to be a little different process. There's, this is very new for the county. They have worked very hard. They have done lots of research, lots of work to find these rentals and bring the revenue into the county. And so, we're just trying to keep everybody safe and have a good time. These, rentals are everywhere in the county, and it's just a little different process.
Yeah. There's a reason we have laws and codes and enforcement.
Yes.
And they're usually, it is going through red tape, but there's usually good reasons behind it.
Yes.
And to focus on the consumers. Do people just go out there and buy a property assuming that they'll be able to get a permit, or is there a way that they can check to see?
There is a way to check. They can check online to see things that meet some of the requirements. But basically, your requirements are for a short-term rental are your entrances and your exits. You want to make sure people can get in and out. And we work that process with you. We do everything for you here at Jim Henry Vacation Rentals. We do the process for you, so you don't have to. We apply for the permit on your behalf. We help you with your we pay your taxes on your behalf. So we do everything for you, so you don't have to, and we make it super simple and easy for you.
Yeah, that's the great part.
That's the great part.
Christina knows the strategy and all the moving parts behind the short-term rentals to make it easy and less complicated for you. So that is a great thing. What are some of the zoning regulations? That'll be something that they will be checking. There's nothing that in the city of our cities in Roane County or our county that says, other than residential restrictions.
HOA, so you got to be really careful with that. There is not restrictions of where they can be, but HOAs do determine that. So you do have to check with the local HOA. You have to check with your neighborhood restrictions to see if they allow it, because some neighborhoods don't allow it, and that's okay. We understand that neighborhoods sometimes don't want something like that, and that's fine. But definitely check with your HOA. We don't have any restrictions in this area of areas, places that we can do them or not do them, but definitely check with the HOA and get with us. If we have agents in this office, we are a real estate office as well. A lot of our agents are very versed on short-term rentals now that it's in the office and they're learning. So get with one of our agents if you're looking to buy one, because we'll be able to walk you through those steps and get you in the right place so that you are purchasing the right property.
Okay. Hey, I think we got a comment.
Good.
Christina, let's check this out. What percentage do you charge for an overnight rental? Well, it's probably the Airbnb, and those are dictated, but I'll let you go into that.
So we do have a percentage that we charge our owners. There's a fee for us to manage the property, and that runs anywhere from 15% to 30%, just depending on what services you're wanting, things that you're wanting, different policies that there are. Now, we do have fees that come across with every guest. I mean, we're on different platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com. We also have our own website, and of course, those have fees that go with them too that are the owner's responsibility. But we always take those fees; they roll back over to the guest. The guest is paying the fees, the taxes, the insurance, or not paying the fees and the taxes with the reservation. So so I mean, it kind of comes out in the wash. It's not terrible. We do have some high percentages for our taxes, and that's not unusual. I mean, we're not the only place that has those, but there is an occupancy tax, there is sales tax that goes with each one of the reservations.
Okay, yeah, that was a great question.
Yes, thank you.
So, is there going to be an inspection on the houses prior to them becoming a short-term rental?
Yeah, we'll have codes enforcement will have to come out and do just like a regular business. One thing you need to realize with a short-term rental, vacation rental, is it's a business. It is a home, but it also is a business, and so we run it like a business. And so, you are going to have regulations. You're going to have the codes enforcer to come out, and they're going to have to approve the property before we can get it on the market. Yeah.
Okay, I think we've got another comment.
Okay.
Could you explain a little further concerning the 15 to 30%? Just in, where does those different scales go to? I mean, is there like a charge if you got a pool or hot tub?
So this what we're talking about, the 15 to 30% is our fee that we charge to manage the property. And so it just depends on the property, where it's located, how much we have to put into it, what services you're wanting, typically, we try. It just depends on the property and the services that they're wanting.
Mm-hmm. Like if they're going to clean their own property, that's something that we don't have to manage.
Right.
Or are we managing getting the yard mowed?
We do all of it. We're a full service. We manage everything from your yard maintenance, your bug control. We have our cleaning team. We have our own maintenance team. So we do everything for the property. So most of my owners, they're there for us to talk and discuss, but we do everything for them to take care of the property. A lot of our investors are out-of-state investors or investors that aren't from here. So a lot of the properties we take care of fully for them. We have the cleaning, we have the maintenance. If something needs to be done, we take care of that for them. But we do the yard. We have our yard lawn care team. We've got our cleaning team. We got a great bug. I guess he's called bug guy. Exterminator. That's what they're called.
Yeah. Okay. We got another comment.
Okay.
He said thank you.
It says thank you.
Oh,
You're
just
welcome.
thank you. Yes, I see it. Yeah,
Yes,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was some really good
Yeah.
information. Yeah. So, okay, so we talked about new properties coming onto the market being a short-term rental. What if you're already got a short-term rental? You got to go through the inspection process? Really?
Well, if you're a short-term rental and you've been in this area, if you have been a rental and your property was established prior to August 13th or August 14th, 2026, then you are grandfathered in. There is a grandfather clause in there for this permitting process, but if you do change ownership in the property or the property comes off the market for 30 days or more and goes back on, then the permitting process will come back. But and a lot of our rentals have been around for a little while, so they are grandfathered in, but we still here in our office, we are asking our owners to do the requirements. We've always required that anyway, just because we want our guests to be safe. So we always require, fire extinguishers, entrance and exit sign, to where they're at, where they're located. We do, I forget what else, but first aid kits. I mean, we do all of that anyway. But with the permitting process, there is a grandfather. So you are grandfathered if you've been in before.
And is there a re-inspection ever so often, or do you know that yet?
We do not know that yet. We know the permitting process is only for a year. I don't know what will happen as we go forward. This is very new for the county. They're learning just as much as we're learning. So, so there may be a re-inspection that comes along. Maybe be that when it changes ownerships, I don't know at this time, but as of right now, it's a first permitting process, and there's inspection then, and then once they have the permit, they're
And
fine.
that's going to be statewide. That's not just Roane County. That's also Meigs County, Ray County,
Yeah.
any of those properties out there that we
Yeah.
might have.
Which Gatlinburg
That's-
already has.
Yeah.
Gatlinburg, Sevierville, they already do those things. So it's not a new process. It's not anything that, we're kind of shocked about. It's just making sure that our owners and our guests are safe.
Yeah, it's probably long overdue.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's going to be a little bit of a hassle at some point,
Right.
but there is reasons for it,
Yes.
and I understand those reasons. What do you see regulations heading in the next 2 or 3 years? I mean, and I know that's you can't predict the future, but do you see them getting more regulations, or what do you see? Have you heard any? Do you have any insight on that?
I haven't heard a whole lot. Tennessee is such a open state for tourism. We are such a beautiful state, and they have had tourism here for so long that they are very open for it, and they're willing to work with the communities and the areas to make these things make it good, make tourism available for us. So I don't see a lot of changes happening. I do see more regulations on it because it is our tax revenue. There is tax revenue that comes from these properties, and so I do see a little more regulation on it. We see as we're seeing, with the permitting process, they're trying to keep a grip on it, a handle on it a little bit better, but they just want to know where the properties are, so I think that's really all we'll have as far as permitting goes. There may be some new laws that'll come out and new changes as things come along and people stay longer or whatever may happen, but I don't see a whole lot of changes except for just more organization and control of it, helping.
Have they started that process yet?
We have.
So have we had any properties?
We're in the process of it now.
Are we?
We are. So
Okay.
it is online. The permitting process is already
Okay,
up
good.
online. The county is on top of it. They're doing a good job. So it is online. You can go in there. You can go ahead and go to the Roane County website and look up short-term rentals, and it's in there. There's a whole packet of information in there, and it tells you everything that you need to know as far as what you need to have in your property, what information you'll need to have. You have to have a business license, you have to have certain things that you'll have to have, and it lays it out very well in this permitting process. And we have started it. We're working on a few properties. We got a couple new properties that just came on board, so we're working on those first, and we'll
That's
go.
exciting.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. We're in the beginning stages of it.
Yeah. Sounds great. I think
Yeah.
we have a comment. Steve Alexander asks, how do ADA laws apply to overnight rentals?
So that's a good question.
That is a great
That is a
question.
great question. So we don't have ADA laws that apply to us. We don't have to have ramps. We don't have to have, entrances and exits for wheelchairs, accessible things like that. But we do have to have accessible entrances and exits. But we don't have any kind of ADA standards as of right now. That may be something that is added to later as they see things change and people you never know when things will change and something will be a little different. But as of right now, we do not do that. We don't have any of those.
What I usually see in those laws, but it could change, is properties that are already a short-term rental or a rental property don't have to comply with that, but any new,
Yes.
once those laws change,
Yeah.
they do have to be in compliance.
Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah,
great question.
Yeah,
really
that is.
great
Yeah, because it
question.
is a home. I mean, these are homes that these people are staying in. It's not a hotel. It's not a, it's an actual. It's somebody's home that was a residential home at one time. So, it's a little bit difficult. We've got some that have lots of stairs. We've got some that have stairs down to the dock. We don't live in a flat area, so we're,
Right. Is there anything regarding certain amount of parking spaces per amount of guests? Is there?
No, not yet.
That may
Nothing
be
like-
down the pike.
Maybe down
Yeah.
the pike. We ours is based off of the amount of beds, and the guest amount is based off the amount of beds. We try to make make sure everyone has a bed in the house, and that's where our guest amounts come from. So we don't really, it's not really based on parking, but that may be something to come, especially in some of these properties that are in some of the neighborhoods, things like that, you know, have a little more limited space. We do always try to be respectful of the neighborhood and make sure that, you know, cars are parked correctly and things like that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, you want to be a good neighbor because it is a business, and that's why you want to make sure that you are checking the covenants of a subdivision if you're buying in a subdivision, and making sure there hasn't been any new amendments regarding short-term rentals, because I do know of some in the area that have made amendments to their covenants based on short-term rentals.
Yes,
so
they have. Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, we have neighborhoods that don't want short-term rentals or vacation rentals, and if they have it in their covenants, we follow those rules. And there's plenty of properties in this area. Roane County is a large county. So.
Yes, Roane County, Meigs County,
Ray County. We've got one
Morgan
coming up in
County.
Ray County,
Yeah.
Spring City. Spring City is a great market. Spring City has tons of marinas. It is a great vacation area. People love to spend time in Spring City.
Yeah. Spring City's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
It is great. So, speaking of that, in the counties, does every county, are all the tax rates the same, or does it vary from county to county?
It varies from county to county. It varies from city to city. Each city has a different rate. We have rates. So occupancy tax is one thing that comes with short-term rentals, vacation rentals. We have an occupancy tax for the county, and then we have an occupancy tax for the city. And then we have sales tax. We still have to do sales tax too. So, this is a great tax revenue that's coming into the county. They have really looked at it to where they're not gouging anybody. It's not a lot. Our county rate is 4%. It is not, for taxes, that is not a bad rate. So they've really looked at those rates to be competitive for the consumer, but it is a great benefit for this county to have that revenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And tourism, Tennessee in general, and I know Nashville has a whole different set of regulations.
They do.
With
yes.
short-term
and theirs are
rentals.
completely different than what ours are, and I wouldn't even begin to tell you what they are.
Yeah,
we would have to learn
but,
those. Yeah. And it may get to that in this area, where we're as we become a larger market, and there's more of it out there. There may be more.
Yeah, things will definitely evolve and change. And
well, in the 2 years we've been here, things have evolved and changed. Since even the time we were on the show, we've changed things. We are constantly growing, learning, finding something new that we didn't know before. It is just it's a complete process of learning. Yeah.
And thank you for mentioning that, and it's so important to the audience. If you're thinking of buying or maybe investing in a short-term rental, you really want to make sure that you go to the county's website that you're buying, and hopefully most of those have them posted, or call someone like Christina that's an expert behind the scenes that can help navigate those questions. Like I said in the beginning of this show, is you don't want to find yourself on the bad end of a costly mistake, thinking you're making an investment in a short-term rental, and maybe that property is not going to comply with the codes and enforcements or the covenants, those type things. So, if you were buying a short-term rental today, what is the first thing they would do besides calling you? Is they would maybe go to that county's website?
Go to the county's website, look up the permitting process. We are able to run numbers as well. So if you do find a property that's something that you're interested in, we can run a revenue, a report for you that gives you what income that's going to bring in for you. Give you an idea of, based on your location, based on the amenities, how many you can sleep, things like that. We can give you an idea of what you will bring in on your revenue. So give us a call when you go to buy something like that, so we can walk you through that process. And not only that, but there are tons of new loans out there for short-term rentals. It's not just a basic, it's a commercial loan. You're looking at a business, so your lending is a little different, and there are some new loans out there that are very, very beneficial to short-term rentals. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're thinking of buying, they would call you, and
Yeah.
you have some lenders in your
We do
pocket
have lenders
that
in
would
our
help
pocket.
do that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
We do. We have some great lenders.
Yeah, no, you're going to need a
Yeah.
good lender in your pocket for sure, buying short-term rentals. And I like that you brought up the point. Even if you're, and I do want to offer this, even if you're not buying through Coldwell Banker, but you want to know just what our services offer, or if we could run a program and a cost and what that potential could be. If you're sitting at home and you're like, wow, I've got all this extra space,
Yeah.
there's no restrictions, I got a guest house, I'd like to call us. We'd be glad to help answer those questions. We, we're here for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Every scenario is different. Every house is different. Everybody is different. So give us a call so we can kind of walk through your specific situation.
And believe it or not, Christina, we are already
crazy.
out of
Well,
time.
thank
I know
you. That's
this-
amazing.
This show
Yeah.
goes so quickly,
It does.
but thank you again
Yeah.
for being here and giving us the updates. By all means, if you're thinking of investing or just have questions about the short-term rental department, contact Christina. Her information's there on the screen. She's very knowledgeable, and she will get back with you, and we'll try to make that transaction as seamless as possible. So thank you again for
thank
tuning
you.
in. Tune in next week for another episode of Real Estate Live. I want to thank Scott Wilk with Wilk Productions for being the great producer that he is and making this show happen. So tune in next week, next Thursday, same time, 7 o'clock, and we'll have another great show for you. Thank you.
Bye.